So apparently if you want a submissive woman, you gay. Yeah, man. Before we tap into this, man, make sure y'all pull up to shop.steveknight.com for the drip. You know what I mean? Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'd very much appreciate it, especially here up on my Night Talk channel. And talking about all my other links can be found in the description box below. Let's go.
I want a submissive woman. I want a submissive woman. You want a man. You are attracted to men. Women are not the submissive gender, men are. Historically, in fact, women are so unsubmissive that some of the earliest written rules of conduct exist to limit and suppress women's autonomy because they were not submissive enough. If you want to see the really submissive gender, look to the men. Look to all of the institutions that men have created. They all function around dominance and submission. Men are the more naturally submissive gender. They have very specifically created many places and many institutions that have historically been male-only or male-centered and marked by competition and dominance. And where there is dominance, there is what? Submission. You don't believe me? The army, fraternities, based all around submission. Look to the churches, school, workplace, sports, even the government. All of the structures that men have ever created and reserved for themselves have always been based around the idea of many men submitting to one man. So think about that.
Yeah, bro, I told y'all we had a doozy for today, man. I gotta commend Shawty, bro, because what's her name? I'm gonna shout you out now, cause that's the YV edit. It's on TikTok, bro. But yeah, we doing the most now to keep this gender war on. You feel me? hey fellas, if you want a submissive woman, you gay, bro. That's funny, bro. I mean, yeah, it's funny, dog. It's blasphemy, but it's funny. You know what I mean? Okay, let's do it. How is it that men are most submissive when we literally have testosterone just coursing through our veins? Testosterone and submission don't go together. You know what? To your point, though, in 2024, this argument holds more weight because men are becoming, they are so soft, testosterone dropping. Men are more easily controlled. You're right. I see your point. But no, she took it back historically, bro. Talking about, you know what I'm saying, women weren't submissive so much so that men had to write up shit to keep it under control. Come on now, baby girl. It ain't like that. You feel me, bro? Like, cause I don't want to come off as misogynistic and shit, but I'm gonna have to goddamn. It's like submission. If we're gonna be real about it, dog, it hasn't been until this modern era where submission was a choice, specifically for women. Bringing up the fact that men wrote regulations to keep women oppressed, we can't use that as a point because, look, yeah, prior to the modern era, women were not given a choice to submit. Y'all weren't looked at as women. Y'all were looked at as property. Why? Because you couldn't defend the property. And that's what it comes down to, bro. Like, submission at the bare bones of it is the top dog eats, right? And typically the top dog is a man because a top dog can defend it. And in order for you to, I mean, we're taking it back to like the Stone Ages and shit, or like to tribes and hunter-gatherers and shit. Like, if you want my spot, you gotta take me out. Violence. You know what I'm saying? That's where it all comes from, bro. And submission is just an effect. Submission has always been an effect. It was never a choice. It was an effect. You submit after you've been dominated or you were too scared to pose a threat to the dominant one. That's where hierarchy comes from. Instead of your life being threatened physically, you got the government in control because there's things the government provides that you want. In order to get those things, you need to abide by these regulations that everybody abides by. And it's not just on men, bro. We gonna sit here and act like matriarchs don't exist. I mean, they exist mainly out in nature more because of the physicality of it. That's what it comes down to. It comes down to violence, the biggest, the baddest. Because if you go take it out to nature, same thing is true even in the matriarchs, because the matriarchs, the woman is the biggest, the woman is the strongest, woman is the top dog, bro. Whales and bees and black widows and praying mantises, it all comes down to violence and who has enough leverage, who has the control, who is the top dog, who is the most powerful. That's what it all comes down to. And in these situations, submission is never a choice. It's an effect, right? It's not until this modern era that we have more social order now where you can't just come up here kicking motherfucker ass for taking their spots. It's regulated now. Hence why you have hierarchies in the government, hierarchies in churches, it's all an extension of that. It all comes from the same place. So this whole argument is retarded. Dominance is the cause, submission is the effect. But good try though. Good try.
And I'm not even saying it's bad. It's fine to enjoy submission. It's fine to enjoy being dominated or trying to dominate someone. Like, I don't care. But something that every fiercely straight man has in common is that they very specifically do not enjoy submissive women. In fact, they tend to enjoy and revel in and really get a kick out of the chaos, the challenge that women can bring to someone's life, to someone's routine, to someone's way of thinking. That's the feminine. The feminine is not naturally submissive. It's actually naturally very chaotic and unstable. And the really straight men eat that shit up. They love it. They don't want a woman to...
So I don't even know what the fuck to do with that. Shout is confused, bro. Talking about that toxic shit. That toxic shit has no longevity. Who the fuck wants chaos? Men want peace across the board. More of the fucking beta types, motherfuckers that want to be controlled, the cucks and all that, bro. That's what you talking about, dog. Which is very interesting, bro. That you gonna try to paint the straight men as the one that like the toxic ass, combative, chaotic women, when in fact it's the more soft beta cuck motherfuckers that enjoy being controlled. You know, ain't that about a bitch? Like that shit's entirely flipped upside down in her head, man. But let's continue.
Be their peace. They don't want a woman to be submissive. They don't want a woman to be their servant. They want a woman in all of her womanness, and they don't mind that feminine spirit, that feminine aspect that comes so naturally to women. At the end of the day, a man who's really straight and really into you, he doesn't want to compete with you. So he doesn't need to dominate you, and he doesn't need you to submit because he's not competing. There's nothing to win. So if a man is ever going on and on about submissive women, soft feminine women, just know that he is using you to feel like more of a man, but it's not about you at all. What he's really seeking is the approval of men. And that's why he wants to dominate over someone, because that's what men respect. When you're in a relationship with a woman, it should not be a competition where one of you is dominant and one of you is submissive. You can do whatever you like and enjoy in the bedroom. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't care what y'all do.
So that's a very modern woman thing to say, but real shit though, like I low-key agree with her to some extent. It's because this red pill shit just has gone off the hinges so much where every man out here thinks they're deserving of a submissive woman. And it comes from the modern woman era too, because women are much more dominant and independent and masculine and all that shit though. So now you're having these butting of heads when back in the day it was the man head of the household bringing home the bacon, you know what I'm saying, protecting, providing and all that shit. So women were forced into submission because of these circumstances. Now shit's more wide open where there's varying degrees of this all over the place, and that it's totally possible to have a functioning relationship with, you know, a masculine ass woman and a feminine ass man, or combinations of both. You feel me? But the main point I'm going to emphasize is that every man don't deserve a submissive woman. Every woman don't need to be submissive, bro. But that's not how submission works, right? Like I say, there's a cause and an effect, right? So men who organically get submissive women, this submission is volunteered from the woman being the type of man this person is. That's where submission comes from. It's an effect. When a woman comes into contact with a man where they can chill, you know what I'm saying, take the brain off, let the motherfucker lead, they got it, where the man is actually there protecting, providing. Most women would like to be in that space where submission is just the effect of this man being the type of man that he is. And interestingly enough, when a woman is submissive to this type of man, she ends up getting leverage over this type of man because being the submissive woman that she is, she's going to be able to extract everything she could ever want from that type of man, right? It's just how it works. It's a yin and yang effect, bro. But the shit she's saying about all these men out here demanding submissive women, even when they're not deserving of it, even when they don't have the traits and qualities of that of a man who is deserving of these types of women, is valid, is fair, and she hit the nail on the head when they're out there just doing it on some peacock shit, trying to show that they're the fucking man and all that. But that's not real life. That's just red pill extremist type bullshit where these men do not live in reality, dog. Submission naturally comes from a woman when the man is doing his job. It's not a demand. Now you're not gonna be able to demand a woman in submission. You have to earn her submission, bro.
At the end of the day, it comes down to like your character or your attitude or whatever. And a man is like, I enjoy a submissive woman. He's not looking for a woman. He does not want a woman who is in her element. He does not want a woman who is doing what comes naturally to her. He wants you to weaken yourself down and dumb yourself down for him because he wants to believe that he's a big, strong man and that he's better than you. And because dominating him gives him manhood and status and power. And now he feels like he can compete up there with all the men that he perceives to be valuable.
That's that red pill shit.
It's not about you. He does not actually want a submissive woman. He just wants to feel empowered according to traditional toxic masculine traits. He doesn't actually like women. The people whose approval he's looking for are men. Okay, so if you're not a man, just turn around and walk away. And forget about all the submissive women stuff that you've ever heard, because that does not apply to straight men. I promise you that.
This video, she's focusing on definitely the both toxic ass, red pill, brainwashed ass type of man that out here thinking that all women should submit to men just because of a man is a man. And if that's who the target audience is, I support that. Like, I agree with you. But this whole narrative she's trying to spin where men don't want submissive women, and matter of fact, if a man does want a submissive woman, he's gay, she's tweaking on that. And that's toxic ass shit that's gonna just blow up in all these girls' face where they're gonna miss out on the motherfucking man that's gonna make them feel like a woman. Her whole description of how it is to be a woman and naturally feminine is chaotic and combative and disagreeable and all my womenness and all that shit, bro. That's a terrible way to goddamn paint a woman to maybe the man she's looking for. This is how you are. You definitely want you the little soy boy beta bitches that's okay with getting walked all over, bro. Most competent leader type of men do not want that type of woman at all. And it ain't about trying to control nothing. It's just the path of least resistance. You feel me? Nobody wants a fucking servant, but nobody want to be goddamn fighting all goddamn day. That's what it is, bro. It was interesting. It was interesting, bro. Thoughts?